It's episode 2 of the Nova. Shall we have a look around and see what's been done up to now? The kit's here, the cable's in the car. Yeah, let's have a poke around the products, because in the introduction video I couldn't show you anything, I just explained it. So yeah, let's take a look. So first things first, I'm going to use these Vauxhall ISUB Twins. I'm going to use them as mid basses. These are designed as a sort of small underseat passive subwoofer, but will bandwidth restrict them, see how they perform. Never used them before, never seen as the first set I've seen. Noticed them on their sort of OEM integration part of their site the other day, and yeah, got them bad boys in, so they'll go in as mid bass underneath the seat. Looking forward to them actually. And they are $249.99 and they will be available on our site very soon. Next up, Hertz Mille Legend tweeter and mid-range. Cracking tweeter this for the money. Great piece of kit. Great for mounting, great for installation. It's relatively small, neo magnet. Same for the 3, lovely little mid-range. ML700.3, ML280.3. They're on the site as well. They'll be the front end, so that'll be the 3-way front end. Would you look at that? Poltergeist in here. Anyway, that's that. The APBX8R. Pretty sure, quote me on it. Reflex subwoofer box. Simple drop fit sub in, should give us some decent output in a small car. Let's see how it gets on. We don't use these very often. We use them in transits because they absolutely knock in transits. But we've not used one in a, you know, in an open sort of car platform. Then the Audiocontrol D6-1200. This will be what controls the 3-way front end, runs all of the 3-way front end. Out from this, we'll probably go to the 1.800 to run this small subwoofer. Plenty of power. And then yeah, we've got a bass knob up front. I'm really looking forward to this. I've used these a few times now. Great amps, lovely old school product with a sort of new wave, you know, DSP control. Because this is a DSP amplifier, 6 channels, loads of control, great inputs as well. So yeah, 125 watts by 6, 4 ohms, 200 by 6, 2 ohms, and then you can bridge at 4 ohms, 400 watts. So yeah, plenty of power there. Yeah, looking forward to using that. I'll do more on these products soon. I'll do more on the Audiocontrol products, more videos as we go along. But yeah, putting that in there. This will be, as I said in the last video, it's a relatively old school install, so you'll be able to see a few things. You know, the subwoofer box and the amplifiers will be surface mounted and things like that, so it should be quite nice. It's not about sort of finesse and all of the modern sort of stuff we do and blending in. It's about kind of just being in there and being a stereo in the car, you know. So yeah, and being fun. Glove box doesn't look like it's ever been out. Got 30 years worth of crap on the back of it. Let's have a look at the car. Right, Jamie. So yeah, the boot. Jamie's just working on the cables. Connection 4 gauge, connection SL216, which we use a lot. If we're not using cord cables or speaker cables, we're using connections SL216. That's the bass controller cable. That's Jamie in the back of the Nova. He's not massive, the car's just small. So yeah, and the front of these is quite a tricky thing. There's a 3-inch speaker, well a 4-inch speaker in this cardboard aperture from stock. We're gonna have to try and get the 3 and the tweeter in there because I don't want anything on display. I want it all to be sort of tucked away. It's just got to look OEM inside the car and sound nice. You notice the Bremen's out because we're fully out of stock of these at the moment. Bear in mind the date on the video. you might be watching it and we've got loads of stock. So that's been changed out for the OEM one for now. We'll put that back in as soon as a new one turns up. Yeah, I mean the front mid bass will be going under the seat in that location there, firing forward, and then I'm sure we'll move them around as we like. I've told you about the 3-ways in the front. Nothing in the doors. Don't want to cut any of the doors up. I mean, the condition of it, it's just gorgeous. So we're not going to mess around with any of that. There she is, the unit. Power cables in already. Oh God, just knocked that on the floor. Power cables in. That's just got to be sent over to the battery over there, sent through the bulkhead. So yeah, keep you up to speed with what's going on as we go through this installation, and we'll keep you sort of topped up with what we do. This isn't the sort of thing that we're expecting, you know, plenty of people to see the video and jump in here with their Novas. We know that they're a rare car, but it's more fun for you to see what goes on when we've actually got time to work on something on our own, which is rare. We're having to book a week out so that we can muck around with this. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it. Really, I haven't got a huge amount of expectation because of where all the speakers have to be and everything has to be very limited, so good will do for me in this. I'm sure we'll hear it soon enough, hopefully this week. Alright, Jamie. Jamie doing the moonwalk.
I didn't realise you had
Stay 2. Shut up, mate. Record video. Stay 2. On the Nova. I had the afternoon off yesterday, so Jamie's taken the load, and he's managed to get a fair bit done. Let's have a little look. Oh, hang on. Can you take the covers off the grills? Right, let me show you the back first. So I've just laid all this in this morning. So this is kind of the layout in the boot and how things are going to look. There'll be a panel that goes under there, like that, on top of the floor, and the power wiring, speaker wiring, everything will all be sort of surface laid. There'll be nothing going over the top of it for now. We'll just make it like that, see how it sounds, do some changes, but all surface mounted like we used to do sort of back in the day when no one really cared for boot space or anything like that. It's just, yeah, just all open, all out in the open. So underneath here, just move these tools out of the way, are the mid-bass boxes. Can you see the front of that there on an angle? You can just see the front of that one there, and you can move this seat forwards and backwards over the top of it like so. Now they're at a slight angle because there's a bar that runs across the center of the seat that it needs to avoid. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how they're going to sound, but we'll you know, there's plenty more we can do with them, I suppose is what we're saying. And then in there, I don't know if you can just see that, try and get you in as closely as I can. In there is the Mille tweeter and the Mille mid-range. Now, how I did that was on a baffle. So there's an MDF baffle around the mid-bass, around the mid-range, and then I put a metal bracket from the mid-range baffle up to the tweeter, which screws into the back of the tweeter. So the mid-range and tweeter kind of sit like this. Yeah, and then this baffle is fixed to the car and the top is fixed to the car. So it's surprisingly solid. It's not how we would, you know, if we were doing, we probably wouldn't do this for someone else because they just don't really fit there, and without huge modification, which isn't what this car's about, they're never going to fit super solid in there. So I wouldn't be confident sort of giving it to a customer in that way, but where this is, you know, this is my own, we can kind of get them in there, see how it works, and if it doesn't work, we'll just take them out and we'll put a nice decent coax in there, like a relatively large one. You ought to be really careful in this because you've got less than 2 inches to play with top to bottom, You know, we've already had to sort of scallop out the inside of the dash, the bits that you can't see, to get a bit of space. So yeah, so they're in there. The mid basses are wired, the mid ranges are wired, the tweeters are wired. The head unit will be here tomorrow because I had to give my Bremen to a customer the other day. This is my 5th one now. It always happens. They kind of go in and out of stock at the moment. And that'll be here tomorrow. And then we're just going to make a plate now from top of the boot carpet, which we'll show you in the next video. So this is episode 2. Yeah. All right, guys. This is the Nova. Carrying on with it, and hopefully we'll have sound by the end of the week. It's Thursday today. That might not happen, but we'll see. All right. Catch you later.